What's up, traders? It's Matt with Conservative Trades. What a beautiful end to the week. I'm on my ninth consecutive green day here, ending the day up $214.50. Didn't fill out too many tickets, so not too much on the commissions today, or the fees and commissions, I should say. But today was it was kind of one of those days where nailed it a few times, and then there were a few times where the trade was going the other direction, we'll just say, for lack of a better phrase. So I'd like to talk about that today. I want to touch on two different things today. Number one, I want to talk about the importance of setting alerts, because it was because of the alerts that I set that I was able to get the trades that I got on NVAX today. So that's one. And this is actually the same thing that happened yesterday. I got a nice little quick scalping trade on NVAX due to an alert that I set. And as a matter of fact, I set alerts on a lot of these trades. And I think even my trade on BNTX came by an alert. And I just hate that the trade on BNTX didn't work out. But that leads me into the other part of today, or the other thing that I want to talk about today. And that is knowing when to get out of trades when they're going against you. And so you can see there are three trades right here: NCLH, NFLX, Netflix, and BNTX. These three trades you can see are very small amounts. They basically paid for themselves, and really Netflix didn't even pay for itself. It paid for one of my tickets. It's a ticket to get in and a ticket to get out, and so I only covered one of those. But basically these trades, we could just call them break-even trades. And you can see Bowen was pretty much a break-even trade as well, but I'm not really going to put Boeing in the same category as these three, because Bowen is actually one that ended up working out really well in my favor, and I should have been more patient with Boeing. So that's a scratch trade. That's my fault. But these three trades right here were legit trades that I took, and I realized that they were not going the way that I wanted them to go, and so I got out. So I really didn't make anything on them. And even if I had ended a little in the red on these trades, even if I ended down on them, 5, 10, 15, 20 bucks even, whatever, I'd still consider that a success, because it is controlling risk. Okay, and that's what us day traders do. We were talking with one of our regulars in the live streams, one of the guys who's really been with me since the very beginning, or has been attending the live streams ever since I really started it. And he was, he's basically he's getting his broker fired back up, and he's getting back into trading in a live broker account. And he's had 2 days now where they've been pretty much break-even days. He took one trade yesterday and one trade today, and they were both break-even, but he got out because they weren't working out. Okay, and so I was telling him that's the difference between a good trader and a bad trader, or a successful trader and an unsuccessful trader. Okay, because it's not about being right. We talk about this time and time again. It is not about being right, guys. It's about controlling risk. How well can you manage risk? And then how patient can you be with your winning trades to let them run? Okay, and increase profits on them. That's what it's about. And so here on NCLH, you can see, and I'll pull out my executions here. Hold on one second. So one of these days I'm going to remember to actually do that before I start the video. But you can see here on NCLH, right here, I went short. And I tried to be patient with it. It was working out. And see, you might say, well, why didn't you start piecing out down here and down here? Well, because I was trying to let my winners run. I had profit targets, okay? And I really wanted to see it break down through some of these key levels over here. I wanted to see it break well down into the 14s and at least come down to this level here to test down in the 1480s before I started taking profit off. And then I probably would have let it come down and test here down to the, the 1460s before taking the rest of my profit off. So that's part of being a good trader. But I noticed that it was having a really hard time pushing. It really was. And it looked like it was going to get bought up. And I saw here that it was pretty much establishing support off these levels. And I recognized it, and I recognized it quickly. And I looked at level 2, and level 2, just every time it would push down, you'd see a lot of green come up on the time and sales. That means every time it came down to this point, people were jumping in and they were buying. This is an NYSE stock. This is another thing you need to know with NCLH and RCL. These are NYSE stocks, and so they've got heavy institutional trading on them. Okay, and so they don't always trade as cleanly, and you have to learn how to identify signals like this, and this sort of thing just comes from experience in day trading. But I saw that it was coming up, and I decided to just go ahead and get out of my position, and I'm glad that I did, because look at this move. Look at this move. Now, had I been stubborn, how long would have I waited through this pullback? There's no way I would have waited for it to come all the way back down here, and so I would have suffered a pretty significant loss on that. All right. but I manage the risk, and that's what it's about. Okay, and I could go through here on all these other ones, Netflix, and here we'll just do, just to kind of make it a shorter video. I don't want to make this too long, and I don't want to beat a dead horse here, but look at BNTX, and wow, look at this. This has had a major run up. I should have said another alert on this, but look, it came up. We had the pullback strategy, a good place where we could exercise the pullback strategy. We've talked about it many times. What do I like to look for? I like to look for a huge run up on the 2-minute candles, and look, we had that nice huge run up, multiple bars. Okay, I started getting in here, and then I averaged in again up here, right? And what's the other part of the strategy? You look up and over, and you make sure that there's points of resistance. This is the first point that I saw that could be acting as resistance, and that's why I started to add in here. Okay, it was also meeting up kind of in here, and then I saw this. If you look up and over, we were nearing all these points back here, all these points here. We were kind of getting close to all those points and this point up here. So I went ahead and started adding. But what happened, and here's the only caveat, when we look for a huge extension on the 2-minute chart off that 9 EMA, see, when I started getting in up here and up here, this 9 EMA was still way down here. But as it started consolidating, this 9 EMA was coming up, 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 which meant that I have less downside potential. So I went ahead and just got out. I just got out, and I'm glad that I did, because it ended up shooting up even further. And who knows what this could have been. I mean, this could have been another move like this, where it shot up all the way up here. And look what eventually happened today on BNTX. I had no clue that this happened. I should have set alerts on this one, and this will kind of lead me into the next point. But just to finish up this point here, this is what it's about, guys. It's not about being right. It's about watching the level 2, watching how the charts are playing out, how the price action is playing out, checking your technical indicators, constantly reassessing the situation, and if it doesn't look good, get out. Okay, so yeah, I've only got $5 here, $1 here, $3.50 here, but I'm glad I managed my risk on those, because these all could have ended up being red trades. Okay, now going over to some of the trades that started working out a little bit better for me in my favor. You can see here on NEO, actually got in here for a short in anticipation of a breaking here, and I did take a little of my profit there. As it came down, I averaged back into my position, but then I saw that it was kind of teetering around these levels here, and again, I looked up and over, and I saw that we're kind of sitting almost right here perfectly to the T on this level of support. Okay, it really was to the T, you can see. And I thought to myself, you know what? This could bounce all the way back up to these levels here. So I got out and went ahead and just took the win, and it did. It bounced all the way up to those levels right there, right? All the way back up to these levels. Okay, now it ended up rolling over and doing pretty well. So, and had I been paying attention, and again, I should have probably set an alert, to alert me when it hits up at 1180s. And maybe I did set an alert. Maybe I just didn't. Maybe I was too involved with another trade at the time, because that's something that I'll often do. I'll look at where could this go and where would be the next entry point for a short, if it's pulling back to what part, and so, but anyway, that ended up only being a $36 win. But mRNA was a good trade today. And speaking of alerts, this is the great thing about having a community, being a part of a community of other day traders, is you actually have people in the chat who can alert you when there are stocks that are taking off. And so props to one of our regulars. He knows who he is, and I don't know if I really have permission to shout his name out here on the channel, but join our live stream anytime. You'll get to meet the whole crew. There's a lot of great traders in there, and this guy he shouted out mRNA, and because of it, I was able to start sizing in. I built a position all the way up to here and got a nice move here. I kind of wish I had let it come back down, but again, I was just looking for the buy up on the off the 9 EMA, and because it had gone into consolidation here and had another run up, it had kind of pulled that 9 EMA up to it. So I went ahead and safely got out there, but I profited. And then he called it out again over here, I believe. And I got in here, and then took profit here. I left a lot on the table. Should have waited for it to come back to the 9 EMA. But then, again, caught another move here, and then caught another move up here. I mean, we had pretty much a 100% win rate on mRNA, just taking small share size. You can see I was just taking 50 shares here and there, maybe 100 shares at that one point. Took a lot of 25 share positions down here on the order book, you can see, as we went in later in the day. And so made $100 on mRNA. So anyway, it was a really good move, and but my NVAX trade, this is where I set an alert, and I set an alert because I wanted to know if it was going to hit around $140. Why? Because I knew that here on the daily chart, if you look up and over, we've got a lot of resistance around that $140 area, right? We're starting to meet a lot of points of resistance up there between really 140 and 145. So I was just planning on, starting to add in at roughly 139, and I was going to, average in and really continue building a position up to 145. But you can see this first time, I just kind of got in and then got the scalp out. So it was just a little bit of a move there. And that's the thing about taking conservative share size. I tell you guys all the time, if you start with a small position and if it moves back enough in your favor, you might need to go ahead and get out and you get a small move. You don't really get to build a position. But that's why I used this opportunity, the second opportunity, to build a nice position. After it broke 140, I took the first 25 shares at 140.71, and then 140.53, and then 142.40 or 142.30, I guess, roughly. And then it got the pullback here just enough to get out with a win. And again, I left money on the table. And here's the thing, guys. You can see that this strategy works really well. Every time it gets extended off that 9 EMA, it comes back to it. It gets extended off and comes back to it. It's really just my fault. It's my fault for not capitalizing on these moves a lot more, because sincerely, this NVAX move here, this could be double this profit. I should have made $130 on NVAX today alone. And had I traded this better, I would have. But again, I'm still at that place where I'm trying to just build my confidence and pad the account, and so anyway, but I'm happy with this, guys. Again, every day this week was a green day. We made, I don't know, probably $800 this week after fees and commissions. This really was a great week, and so I'm very satisfied with the profits. And I'm going to come in next week and do the same thing. And so I'll tell you this. One last thing that I wanted to mention before we leave out here is, I had released a video yesterday displaying my office here, my day trading station, my computer setup, and all of that. And a lot of you have been following the channel long enough. You know that I recently had a brand new computer built, and so the trading station has been definitely operating a lot more smoothly. And of course, it's been a really good build to have, especially for the other types of work that I do, and even when I do a little bit of video editing and that sort of thing. So. But anyway, check out that video. I'll go ahead and leave it on the end screen here at the end of this video, but I'll also provide a link in the description below. And if you do happen to check out that video, definitely, be sure to comment and let me know what you think about the new setup. And also let me know what kind of setup you have and what you're using, and what types of monitors, and, how your screens are laid out and all that. I take a lot of interest in that sort of thing. And, anyway, guys, so to all of you who are new to the channel, I hope you are enjoying the content here. If you're seeing it for the first time, consider subscribing, and consider joining us in the live stream. We stream live right here on the channel, Monday through Friday, beginning roughly around 9 a.m. And to those of you who are my regulars, special shout out to you guys. I always enjoy trading alongside of you, and I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of trading opportunities we get to trade together next week. All right, guys, have a great weekend. Take care.